Fly tying for beginners with fish.hands.franky. The Seaducer tarpon fly is not only effective, but also relatively simple for beginners. So, whether you're new to fly tying or just looking for a fun pattern, this one's for you. Grab your tools and let's create some magic together. Don't worry, we'll take it one feather at a time. Let's get started. Second tarpon of the day, baby. Let's go. For this fly, we're going to start out with the Umpqua 600 SP 1/0 size. These are great hooks, super sharp, and the tip is ever so slightly bends up. So if you're going to try to hook a tarpon, you're going to want something that's sticky. Let's get started by putting the hook in our vise. I'm using a Regal vise. These are made in Massachusetts. I was born and raised there, so I'm a little bit partial to small businesses that have been in New England for a long time. Using red thread. This is a Vivus. I'm not sure of the size of it, but I'll double check at the end of the video and maybe put a link down in the description. So we're just going to cover the hook with thread to start. Got a little base going. This fly is super simple. It's got two materials. Can't go wrong. I'll start by tying in the tails. I've got some saddle hackle, and for the tails, looking for matched pairs, something with a good shape, not too webby. We'll use the webby stuff for the front of the fly. So here's one. You can spend a whole lot of time picking these things out, but at the end of the day, as long as they're around the same shape, I don't think it matters too much. It's really for the fly tyer more than it is the fish. I'm a novice fly tyer. I've been tying flies for about 3 years now, so it's good to start out with some of these easier flies. A lot of guys start out with nymphs, but they're a lot harder to tie than some of these saltwater patterns, so I don't know why guys don't get started on saltwater more often when they're just getting into fly tying. Alright, so we got 4 matched pairs here, or 2 matched pairs. I'm going to start out. What you want to do is try to get these feathers so that they sweep out in opposite directions when you put them on the fly. So we'll get one going that way, one going that way. We'll marry them up so that their tips are at the same length, and then we just put them on the hook. Pinch them here, work them on either side of the hook. Just do a wrap over the top. Keep your thread tension even. 1, 2, pull up, tighten them. And we'll just work that up a little bit. That should be good. And tighten my thread, tighten my bobbin a little bit. Okay, let's see how that looks. Make sure they're on the right part of the hook, working their way away from each other before we go any further. This one I'm going to adjust a little bit. Okay, that's good enough for a guide fly. Go in here, cut that off, cut that off, get that all buttoned up. Alright, first set of tails is in. Let's put the next feathers in. We're going to do the same procedure. I'm going to put these in one at a time though. Just make sure they're the same length as the other one. looks good. Tie this one in on this side. You don't have to be too particular about this fly. I think that's why a lot of the tarpon guides use these. They're quick to tie, and the tarpon love to eat them. Clip those off, and then we're just going to batten this all down. Don't worry about all that webby stuff. Again, we're not here for making beautiful flies, we're here for making effective flies. And I'm gonna try to put more patterns on this channel that are easy to tie. So that if you're just getting into it, I'm not gonna sit here and tie flies that are near impossible for somebody that's just beginning. Give you some easy stuff first. All right, time to tie in the webby stuff. Got another saddle hackle here. Grab it by the tip. I'm gonna pull these back, and then we're actually gonna tie it in at the base. So I'm gonna take some of these feathers off on this side. I'll put that up on the hook. Tie right in. Bring your thread forward. Alright, now I'm just going to wind this around. I'm going to do this in the opposite direction that our thread is going. It's kind of like tying a saltwater woolly bugger with a different style tail. This is not a pattern to be scared of. And I'm just kind of preening the fibers back as I wind forward. There isn't much to it. And we'll get to right about a couple more turns. Whoop! That's gonna happen, guys. Don't worry about it. Just start over. I'm not gonna edit out the mistakes in this video because I want you guys to know fly tying isn't a perfect science. All the videos you see out there are perfectly manicured, and you're seeing them tie probably the 10th fly of the day. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Show you guys what it's really like here for a novice fly tyer and somebody that just wants to make flies that are going to catch fish. Alright, what you're going to do is you're going to take your thread over the top of that saddle hackle twice, and then you're going to wrap in front of it. That locks it in. We'll cut off the tip there. That looks good. I'm just going to wrap back a little bit. Now I'll get those fibers all going in the same direction. Okay, that looks good enough. Now, for comparison, I think I'm a little bit short on the white coming forward, but not much. And I think that'll work. I don't want to crowd that eye. I want to leave a little bit of room there. So these are sparse flies. They're not meant to be super fancy. So all right, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and grab our red saddle hackle, and looking for the real webby stuff. Ooh, this is a pretty one. Let's grab this one. We're going to do the same thing we did with the white feather. Come in here, get this garbage out of the way. What you can do is just preen this back and grab it all in one foul swoop. Getting rid of all this stuff here. Very good. Pull that off. Alright. That's looking good. Clean this up just a little bit. Now we're going to grab the tip, swoop all these feathers back. Ooh, that's a real webby one. Wow. This is going to look good. Let's get these organized a little bit. Alright. Trim this stem off a little bit. Let's go ahead and tie her in. Bring that thread up over that stem. Build a little bit of a taper. Alright, we're good to go. gonna start wrapping the opposite direction, just like we did before. These guys right here are a little too webby. Pull those out. That'll do. If you got any tricks to working with these style feathers, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I might learn something too. These fibers a little bit longer than I expected, but who knows? Maybe in the water that'll be better than the ones that are shorter. It's looking pretty good. That's interesting. Alright, pretty much the end of the road on that one. That looks good. Over the top twice. Go in front twice. Trim this out. Okay, sweeping back. Build up a little bit of a head here. That's good enough for me. Now we're going to whip finish. We'll do 4, and then we'll do 3, because 7's my lucky number. A little bit of Fly Tires Z-Ment. Essentially just super glue. These things get stuck on there if you don't use them very often. Drop a little bit in there. That thread actually came loose. Well, I'll tell you this, with the super glue in there, it's not coming off, so I'm just going to trim this. Boom. See what I mean about not worrying too much? We'll hit it with a little bit more, just to make sure it's locked in. This fly is going to go to Florida with me. We're going to go fish for baby tarpon, redfish, who knows, speckled trout in February this year. Alright, I think that's going to do it. Nothing special, not perfect, but certainly a good, healthy example of a guide Seaducer. Thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe, hit like. See you on the next video.